I'm Joel Södi. I work here in the Institute of Information Society in this university, and my presentation will be a little bit more abstract or theoretical compared to yesterday's presentation, and it will be about that. This is a very simple idea. I'm proposing to perceive the platform as a coordination mechanism, and I will explain this concept. The presentation has two parts. At the first part, I would like to demonstrate how this concept, that platform as a coordination or general coordination mechanism has developed. And it will be a story starting from Max Weber ending at Julie Cohen. And in the second part, I will try to demonstrate why is it useful to perceive the platform as a coordination mechanism. But before jumping into the details, these are definitions by the European Union, which is, you can find it in different documents. And in these documents, you can find that online platform basically is defined as a subpart of digital services, and the subpart within the digital services there is a group of services which is called the hosting services, and within that the platform is a small or a subpart of this hosting services. Sometimes it is mentioned that you can see another definition which is about the core platform services, and core platform services mean, and this is from the DMA proposal, online intermediation services, search engines, social networking services, video sharing platforms, number independent interpersonal communication services, and so on and so forth. And in the online P2B regulation, which is about the fair conditions of enterprises on platforms, we can find that they, at this type of platform at least, allow business users to offer goods or services to consumers. So this is the official legal definition of platform. I'm sorry. But if you read a little bit more theoretical, the literature, and that was my aha moment a few years ago when I read the book and the articles of Julie Cohen, because she defines the platforms as new. She says that this is not a new business model, it is not a new social technology or a new infrastructural formation, although it is also all of those things, but rather it is the core organizational form of the emerging informational economy. So this is a very, very broad something. So where this definition comes from? That's the question, and at the first part of my presentation, I would like to explain that which is the source of this definition. Another author, Josef van Dijk, who is, I think, I think the most influential author on platforms, she's also telling, her definition is very much similar to the definition of Julie Cohen's, because she's telling also the online platform is a programmable digital architecture designed to organize interactions. So how this whole thing, I think, has a very, very interesting story. And this story starts from Max Weber. A lot of things is originated goes back to Max Weber, because Max Weber's bureaucracy theory was something like this. That's similar. He wanted to explain because the bureaucracy we all know that he developed the theory on bureaucracy. That was actually after his visit to the US in 1904. That's just an interesting side information on that. And he perceived the bureaucracy, or defined the bureaucracy as a control, basically a control mechanism, with which the modern state and modern government can control, and also the companies, which is his definition is not restricted to the government, and also the companies can control the flow of material, the people. So this is a control mechanism, and a very effective control mechanism, and he compared this control mechanism very often to a machine. And he says that this bureaucratic administration stands in the same relationship to non-bureaucratic forms as machinery to non-mechanical modes of production. So it is a very effective way of controlling people and resources and to organize transactions. Now, the story has a strange turn, because after, in the 30s, when the New Deal emerged, and also the communist form of economy in Russia has been established, this control mechanism, the bureaucracy, has been put into contrast with the market, and that the main ideological source of this was Mises. Mises was a liberal economist, and he told that there are two basic control mechanisms in the world to control resources and people, and one is the bureaucracy, and the other one is the market. And the market is, and he called that the market management and the bureaucratic management. And actually, his program or his aim was to promote the market and to say that in the sphere, in the economic sphere, the bureaucratic control is not effective and shouldn't be allowed. So that was basically his program. The other author is Polanyi, Karl Polanyi. His forms of integration is, again, something like this coordination mechanism. He differentiated between three types of mechanisms: the reciprocity, the redistribution, and the market. And he told that basically, before the market as a virtual mechanism has been born with the modernity, because the modern capitalism was born at the moment when like the labor, the money, and the land has become commodities. And at that time, when these things became commodities, that was the moment when the modern market was born. And this new mechanism, this virtual mechanism, is can be compared with two other ancient mechanisms, with the reciprocity and the redistribution. And this is the slide I was doing, or I put the previous slides. That was the reason why I put the previous slides, because this is Kornai János, and he's just gone a few weeks ago. He's a very famous Hungarian economist, and he developed a theory in the 80s about the coordination mechanisms. And according to Kornai, there are three coordination mechanisms. The coordination mechanism is basically a subsystem of the social system that coordinates the activities of persons and organizations, and the main types are the market coordination, bureaucratic coordination, and ethical coordination. And this goes back to Polanyi, and the interesting thing is that Julie Cohen is also she's going back, or she's relying on Polanyi's theory as well. So Polanyi is the Weber, and Polanyi are the two main authors here. They are both relying or developed their theories on the basis of the Weberian and the Polanyian theory. And why I think that we should perceive the platform as a general coordination mechanism which is competing with the market and the bureaucracy. I have another source of inspiration, and this is James Banniger, because James Banniger his book is about the information society, the sources of the information society, or the history of the information society. And he claims that actually the history of the information society starts with the Industrial Revolution, because the Industrial Revolution caused a control crisis. And this control crisis was about that the people were unable to control the energy and the material. The flow of energy and the material has been quickened, and they were unable to control it. And therefore, the modern bureaucracy at the end of the 19th century was developed to control this. So the bureaucracy was not developed in the government, but the bureaucracy was developed in big American companies, like railway companies, to control the flow of energy and materials. So this is the basically, to put it very simply, this is the theory of James Banniger. And the final author, we're going to meet him personally today. This is Lawrence Lessig, and he is the last author I got inspiration from. His claim is that the algorithms, the codes, are behavior control tools. That's the basic idea. There are a lot of things in his book called Code, but this is one of the main claim, is that norms, law, besides the law and besides the norms, the algorithms act as behavior control. And in the cyberspace, that's the main tool to control the behavior of people. And here's a quotation. So all in all, the platform can be perceived as a sort of control mechanism in the cyberspace. It is a very special control mechanism, and it can be compared to the bureaucracy or the market or the ethical coordination. So control mechanism means that it controls the people's activity and it allocates resources. The market actually functions like that. It controls the behavior and the allocation of resources through prices and supply and demand. The main transactions that are happening on the market are the sale of and purchase of goods and services. So that's basically the market. That's one control mechanism. The bureaucracy controls the behavior through legal rules or rules and orders. And the main transactions within bureaucratic coordination are the cases or the matters within, for example, the government or within any kind of administrative organization. And the ethical coordination, that's the third type of coordination in Kornai's theory, is made through norms and customs. The main transactions here are all kind of activities of everyday life. That's the ethical coordination. So platform is a new type of coordination mechanism, and it has very specific features. There are three specific features, and this is the theory of Josef van Dijk, that it datafies everything, the datafication. That's the first thing, that's the first feature of the platform. It is dataifying all kind of transactions and also monitoring the behavior of the members, and that dataifying the behavior of the members. Even the members, even the people, the users on the platform, they can be perceived as data pies or a sort of group of data. Cohen calls it avatars. They actually, there are no people on the platform, but they are avatars or data. They are also expressed as data files. The other thing is that in this coordination mechanism, compared to, for example, the bureaucracy, where the bureaucracy in the bureaucracy the transactions are governed by laws or legal rules, basically legal rules, and other types of internal rules, but written rules. And now in the platform, the transactions are governed by algorithms. That's the second feature of the algorithmic or platform coordination. The third thing is that the relationship to the users or the people, the relationship of the platform to the people is very is very special, and it is different from the other mechanisms because it is locking in or grasping, or how to say it, the people. It is the relationship is very very close to its members. It is locking in the members. And the fourth feature of the platform as a coordination mechanism is that it's good for nearly all purpose. That's interesting because Max Weber in his theory told that the bureaucracy is is a kind of all-purpose mechanism. But actually bureaucracy is good for a lot of purposes, but platform is really an all-purpose mechanism, and we will see that why I'm telling this. Because there are a lot of interactions going on, and so the question is that why this is useful. Jutta Kohl yesterday put me the question that, okay, this is a very nice theory, but how can we use that? And my answer was that we can use that. The main purpose is that it is interacting with other mechanisms, and the effect of this interaction has really enormous impact on our society, I think. And what are these interactions? The first, the platform as a coordination mechanism has basically two kinds of impacts on other coordination mechanisms. Either it kills other mechanisms, or lives as or behaves like a parasite on these mechanisms, and very rarely complements them. That's the thing. It is like an invasive species that where it appears, it is very quickly kills the other mechanisms. The first thing is that it kills the bureaucracy. So if you see that for example, in those companies where basically the aim of the company was the coordination itself, like the taxi companies or travel agencies, the platform as a mechanism simply killed these companies because it can organize, for example, these transactions a lot more effectively than this kind of control by the people and rules, which is basically the bureaucratic control. So that's the first connection. The other connection, that it has a very strange relationship to market, because some platforms are virtual markets actually, like for example the gig platforms where the platforms where works are where people the labor platforms are called gig platforms. This is a very strange relationship because it is on one hand parasitize, and on the other hand it distorts the market mechanism. This is like online shops, gig platforms. They act like virtual markets, but actually they are not controlled by the invisible hand. The whole market mechanism is based on the fact that people has few information, or this lack of information is one of the most important features of the market, that we don't know everything about other market actors' activity. We don't know about how the market dynamics is going on. Of course, we know a lot, but actually that's the basic thing on the market, that we don't have every information on the market. But that's not the case with these virtual markets. Actually, the market, the company which is running the platform actually knows about everything, about the users and about the transactions. And this is not it doesn't sound like a very frightening thing, but the thing is that it can also adjust and manipulate the market. Actually, the markets, the platforms as markets, are not real markets, because you can adjust at any time for example, how the work is distributed in a work platform. And there are a lot of complaints on that. And I think it's not accidental that the P2B regulation, one of the main goals of the P2B regulation is to make this distribution of work, or make this functioning of these virtual markets, to make it fair. I think that's a very important thing. For example, there is the fifth article in the P2B regulation is about the ranking. That's the entrepreneurs who are offering goods and services these virtual markets, they have the right to know that what is the logic behind the ranking. Because of course, the platform itself can adjust any time, they can manipulate any time these mechanisms. So it is like, we can see that it's like a market mechanism. It is mimicking the market, but on the other hand, it's not a market and not a real market. It's just a virtual market because it can be manipulated at any time by the platform. And I think the fourth thing is that with the ethical coordination, that's the third type of coordination mechanism by Kornai. I think this is where the hugest impact the platforms have, because it is on one hand parasitizes, but also disrupts the ethical coordination. So because on one, this is the social media. Social media transforms the activities of everyday life, like the like and dislike and help and pity and consolation and joy and all these kind of everyday things, these kind of everyday transactions of the ethical coordination, which was coordinated by the ethical coordination by the ethics, actually. It is channeled through the platform. It is digitizing. It is datafying these transactions. It is datafying these goods of the everyday life, of the ethics. It is making them countable, and of course it is monetizes this. That's the basic problem. So the relationship between the ethical coordination and the platform coordination is again very problematic, and I think that's the most problematic. The market with the relationship with the market coordination is also very problematic, because these markets are imitated markets or not real markets, and can be manipulated. But I think the biggest problem is the relationship between the platform as a coordination mechanism and the ethical coordination, because platform in this word is really have a very strong disruptive effect. So that was, I think, basically my presentation, and later looking forward to the questions. Thank you very much.